Well, we want to instill the right culture, the right attitude. I think and we've got some guys that have won here, and we've got guys that have been in the league a long time that I think they can learn from. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's about them. The more games you play, the more time you spend in this league, the more comfortable you get. And I know for myself, it took me time to really understand and learn the game, and I'm still learning and still trying to grow. While I'm playing. So it's one of those things that the more experience you can get under your belt, the more confident you are, and the better the team ends up becoming.
For a guy like you, where does the growth come from in terms of learning or experiences? I mean, you've done quite a bit in this league, so where do you find that?
Well, it's a new challenge. I haven't been in this position in a while. Obviously, our reality is what it is right now, but it can challenge you, and when you're in this spot to be a better person, leader, teammate, you still got to show up and leave it out there. And on me and the rest of the guys that have been around for a little bit, it's more just about showing the culture that we expect and from ourselves and from the young guys. And at the end of the day, you don't want to have a losing attitude, and I think guys have done a good job of trying to keep that out of our room.
You had some tough times early on in your career. Was there somebody that maybe in a similar role that you are in now that kind of maybe left an impression, as far as how to conduct yourself when times are tough? Was there a veteran who did that for you?
Yeah, I'd say I had a pretty good amount of both examples. It's tough, and I understand it now a lot better, obviously, being on the other side of it. When you're young, you just show up and happy to be there, and you work hard. And not to say that you're not happy now, but it's just a different reality. And I always was lucky to have Travis Zajac as a teammate in New Jersey, and he was in a similar spot in the sense that, he'd been to a Cup final, he'd had success. I think he's about my age, honestly, when I was coming in the league, and we had those tough years. And he was just the ultimate pro. He showed up, he worked hard. I never heard him complain once. There's a lot of things that I admired about him, and probably didn't tell him enough how much I did, but it left a pretty lasting impression on me, and that's what you can hope to do for younger guys.
Was Saturday a pretty good example of what you're describing in that it's a game that you felt like you kind of controlled at least 5-on-5 for most of it, and yet you were still in a position where you had to lock it up in the third period and get it done, and maybe an area of growth and opportunity there in that third period against a good team like that.
Yeah, it just shows it's not going to come easy. We're probably not going to roll teams out of the building 6-7-0. It's going to be hard-fought games, and it's going to be everybody chipping in, and special teams, goaltending, whatever it may be. It's got to all be there, and but ultimately that's how you get the most growth out of everybody. If you're counting on 20 guys and they understand their importance to our team and their value right away, it can lead to a lot of confidence and ultimately make them better players for us moving forward.
I know it hasn't been the easiest year for this group, but do you feel like you've made progress establishing a team culture here?
Yeah, I think the culture is great. We've gotten great coaching. We've got a really good group of guys. It's fun to come to the rink still. I've been on teams where it's not fun. You lose 5 in a row, and it's not exactly not that anybody's happy about losing, but I think we're understanding it's more about the way we play right now, and the results will follow. Like, I thought the St. Louis game was really good, and bounces didn't go our way, but we carried that over to another strong game against LA. And I think a lot of it's on the staff. They've done a good job of keeping it light and keeping it more about teaching and developing and growing our game versus just getting beat up on mistakes and the results.
Broad question for you, but what do you think it takes to be a really good defensive forward, like to be good enough to be considered for a Selke?
I don't know what goes into the voting process, but reliable, two-way. It's pretty. I think it's evolved in the modern game. I think you got to be able to produce and score too. I don't think they're just looking at clamp down guys. It seems to be a lot of centers as well. So I don't know the criteria, but when I think Selke and I think of strong defensive games and strong contributions on both sides. We got a good example on our team. Bax is one of the best in the league, in my opinion. So that's kind of where my mind goes with that.
Can you go into more detail about what makes guys like Michael Backlund or some of the other better defensive forwards you've played with so special, and things you've learned from playing alongside them?
They just do the right things. They don't cheat the game. They're on the right side of the puck. They they have a smart understanding of the game, and I think some of the best defensive players are good offensively, which allows them to kind of make the reads that they need to in the D zone because they think the same way. They think that style of where the puck's going to be going, and they're not reactive. They're anticipating, and I think it's hard to find, and that's why teams hold on to the guys like that as long as they can.